my amazing and very good friend, Mr. Jamie Randall from RMG Group. Today, we're going to talk about digital marketing strategies, what's working, what's not working for home service and home improvement contractors. What have you noticed some of the biggest changes this year?
We say we have a love-hate relationship with because it's
that's what keeps us in business. They keep the same ad spend and they just upgraded their brand image, pictures and stuff like that.
Back to the branding, his website convert more organic traffic into leads because
how much difference is that really making the advertising?
Brand is huge. I mean, it's the differentiator. It's like kind of what separates you from the competition. It's your brand and reputation.
Let's dive right into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Hey, my friend, welcome to another Contractor Click podcast. This is your host, Danny Barrera, with my amazing and very good friend, Mr. Jamie Randall from RMG Group.
How's it going, Danny?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for having me. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me today.
Wow. He came all the way from, what is it, South Carolina?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Boom. How's South Carolina doing?
It's good. It's not as warm down here as it is in Miami, but it's not too bad. It's a good city.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, today we're going to talk about digital marketing strategies, what's working, what's not working for home service and home improvement contractors. So whether you're a concrete coating, remodeler, you're in the plumbing, electrical niche, and you're listening to the podcast, we just want to share what's working, what's not working, what you should be thinking about for 2025 as we're closing Q4. So let's dive right into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right,
Let's
awesome.
do it.
What are you seeing right now? We just finished up with the election here, and we were just talking a little bit about changes in cost per lead overall through Google search. What have you seen nationwide?
Yeah, I think the past few months have been a little rocky. Obviously, there's been millions, poured in for the the campaigns, advertising. But I mean, even this week alone, we've seen things get a little better and more normal and back on track. So that's kind of a good sign for everybody that has been wondering if the election has had any interference. But I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of marketers, for a lot of different industries. And yeah, they said like the past few months have been kind of weird and things have just gotten thrown off. So I think we all have that to look forward to moving forward, the rest of this year and into next year. Hopefully things will settle down a little bit. Cost per lead, hopefully we'll get, in check a little bit more. But, advertising only goes up over time. And I think people also have to be prepared for that and just learn how to deal with it at the same time.
That brings me to the point of having diversification, right? So if you're just solely focused on LSA and your GBP, your Google business profile goes down or it tanks, now you're exposed, right? Now you've got to figure out how you're going to fill the pipeline. But if you're diversified and you have multiple things, and we were just talking on another episode here, which is like, the way you approach marketing it and you help your clients, it's having them think like fishing poles, right?
Yeah.
You want to expand a little bit on that concept?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the language we just chose to use. I mean, diversifying your lead sources, we like to call them fishing poles, right? The more poles you put in the water, you're going to increase your odds of catching more fish, right? And so, everybody listening to, if you're in the contracting world, I mean, I think in the business world in general, right? You want to have multiple lead channels, fishing poles in the water, because each pole will ebb and flow on how many fish or jobs or leads it brings in, right? And so to help get the consistency most contractors want, you got to put multiple poles in the water. And I mean, we even advise and, talk to a lot of contractors about online and offline. Like you kind of, the biggest companies we've seen that have the most market share, I mean, they're kind of putting poles in the water online and offline.
I think,
and they don't stop any of it ever.
Right.
They just keep it going, because if one goes down, like you said, something can happen. There's going to be inconsistencies a little bit from all of them. That's just how the game works. But the more you have out there, it won't have that big of effect if one goes down. Like you don't want to have one in the water. That line gets cut, you're SOL, right?
Right.
And nobody wants to be in that situation.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's go deeper. Branding. How much does a brand, I mean, your clients, what have you noticed? Cost per lead and also closing ratios when they have branded trucks, they're all suited up for the job and they're showing up professionally. How much difference does that really make in the advertising?
Yeah, it'll Yeah, we actually just updated the website recently with one of our clients got new wrapped vans, trucks. He put together a promo video using like a drone and kind of all that. I mean, his conversion rate skyrocketed from his website alone. I think brand is huge. I mean, it's kind of, it's the differentiator. It's like kind of what separates you from the competition. It's your brand and reputation. At the end of the day, I mean, I do think, depending on what level of business you're at, like I get it. If you got to put food on the table, like you might not be as worried about, having a wrap truck or a fleet of 10 trucks. Like you got to kind of, I think, stage it based on where you're at, but it definitely helps. It's kind of your first impression, right? Like when you're pulling up to a potential client's house,
right,
they're going to get a feel and a vibe from how your techs are dressed, how your truck looks, how you present yourself. So I think brand is huge.
Yes.
And it's the kind of the first impression people get.
So you've seen from your clients, and we've noticed that too. It's like, hey, when you're showing up professionally, closing rates go up, cost of marketing goes down the more consistent you are. And to your point, offline, online, etc. Like we had a client that he was running radio and television ads, and the online started performing really well. Like we started tracking cost per lead. It was 20% of what he was spending on TV and getting way more for the bucks. And we did an analysis, and this client stopped advertising on radio. He's like, I don't know if I'm really getting the return. I'm going to cut that out for a quarter, etc. And then we noticed the cost per lead started going back up on Facebook advertising specifically. Cut out TV ad. He's like, I want to put more money into Facebook ads. And guess what happened? The cost per lead just went up again on the Facebook advertising. And I think that speaks to when you are looking at marketing as a whole and advertising, there are some channels that will help you top of the funnel, brand awareness that will impact the bottom of the funnel, right? And it just makes people trust you more. The more that you're consistent, that some of these channels, that's it. It's a long-term play. Magazine, targeted, direct mail, etc. That works perhaps not on the immediate ROI, but on the long term. Now you look at a truck wrap, that's an investment that I encourage all of our clients to make right out of the gates. It's like, hey, find the money to get your trailers wrapped because it's only going to help you close more jobs. It's going to be, it's going to be something that as you're driving down the street is free advertising, right? If you do it the right way, you're going to get more phone calls. You got a QR code in there.
Yeah.
So every opportunity to be consistent, just like what we are here. And Christian, if you can show them right here, how many times we have Contractor Click shown? We have it Contractor Click here. I didn't bring my polo today. It's in the, it's getting washed. Contractor Click, you'll see it, lower thirds. I mean, we want to be as consistent as we can because it lowers the cost of our acquisition at the end of the day. It builds consumer confidence. So that's a very good insight. Let's talk about changes that you've noticed. You guys do a lot of LSA, Google Ads, SEO, Google business profile optimization. What have you noticed some of the biggest changes this year?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us in the marketing world, we say we have a love-hate relationship with Google because it's we all need it to grow and scale. But man, they're always rolling out changes and updates, and
they always do it at the worst possible time too, right?
As soon as you get it figured out,
before the election, after the election,
it's like they know all of us marketers. As soon as we get it like figured out, they're like, well. They're like, psych, here's another algorithm update for you. But I mean, that's the game we're in.
That's what keeps us in business.
Yeah, no, it is. It is definitely the opposite of a set it and forget it
I know. Yeah.
mentality. But we've seen the cost, creep up. From the paid ads perspective, they've gone up slightly this year. But again, everybody I've talked, it only goes up over time. Right? Like Google's all of a sudden not going to be like, hey, you know what? Sorry. Like we're just going to bring down your cost per click just because we are. Like they're a for-profit company. They're going to make money. And the more competition that comes in, the more bidding that comes in, it's going to drive the cost up. But I think that's why, companies like us exist is because we, have the means and methods to at least keep the cost per lead down as much as we can, and there's always working on bringing it down, which can be done. Right. Like the cost of advertising goes up over time, but if you know what you're doing, and you give Google what it wants, it will reward you with a cheaper cost per lead for that.
Yes. Good point. I mean, what we get paid Contractor Click and just about every high-performing marketing agency, it's a strategy, really. I mean, you figure that out. You play in the home service niche, water damage and restoration. You guys are the best at that. You guys know when a client comes in, you're not playing around with their money, see what works, what doesn't work. So you pretty much, people pay for the strategy, the proven strategy that you can implement. Same thing with our clients at Contractor Click, concrete coating, home improvement contractors. It's no different. Like, you come here, we already have the proven playbooks, and we deploy them as effective and as efficient as possible. And you pay for the strategy so that you don't have to figure that out yourself. And the other thing is, it's in constant evolution, right? You talked about constant rollout and updates. I mean, I don't know. LSA just had a new update a couple of weeks ago, like right before the election. I mean, they couldn't pick another time, right?
Yeah.
To do it. There was another algorithm for SEO, like right after the election. And this happens just about every year. It's right after COVID, like, Google decided to deploy this new update, and it was crazy. And, people were criticizing, why do they roll out these updates? But we noticed, that also when we look at the stock, Google stock, and how it performs, there's a correlation in the Google updates and the changes that they make. So we'll see what happens in a couple of years,
Yeah.
They definitely rigged the game in a certain way. But I personally love Google. I see ourselves as being partners and co-creators, where it's our job to understand the platform. What is it that they really want to render on the other side, and our clients maximize every opportunity there. Tell me a little bit about websites. And you talked a bit about one of your clients maximizing their lead flow. Did they increase the ad spend, or did they keep the same ad spend and they just upgraded their brand image, pictures and stuff like that?
Well, for the client that I'm thinking about, I mean, we're doing both with him because he's got big, ambitious goals. But back to the branding, I mean, that was just, it helped his website convert more organic traffic into leads, because, I understand, like, if you got to put up a website just when you start your business, fine. But whenever you have the funds, you should invest into personalized photos, get some pictures of your wrap trucks. I mean, put your family on there if you can, because people just want to, know, like, and trust you, and where you seem real.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of cost, involved, but I mean, with our clients, like, one job will pay for
you'll make it back.
That's one job. Well, that's why we're like, guys, it's literally one job. Like, you're gonna get hundreds and hundreds. So it's definitely helps for sure.
Yep. And I think professional pictures go a long way. Like, they're gonna last you for a very long time.
Yeah.
If you want to be creative, and we have a couple of our clients that every season they like to update pictures. Like, if it's fall, they want to be more fall oriented, etc. That's great. That's awesome. But you don't need to do that. We have clients that they just invested the one time, and it's been a couple of years, and the website performs better over time, just because it's consistent. And the brand is also much more powerful. Someone comes into a website experience, and you have a picture you just scrape off of the internet representing, whether it's kitchen cabinets or even concrete coatings, epoxy flooring. What would look better? That, or a professionally taken picture with you and your crews with a finished floor in the background, right? Or it might be your trucks, right? And your crew right in front of it. Might be, maybe you have a receptionist, an admin assistant. You want to show your team. So the thing is, how consistent are you throughout your entire website experience? And that goes and carries over to your landing pages, to your Facebook profile, right? To your Instagram. And it all comes together at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it helps too if you just put yourself in their shoes. Like, what would you want to see if you're shopping for the service? Like, I mean, I know it sounds simple, but I feel like a lot of people don't do that. It's like, would you call? I mean, I see some websites, I'm like, I wouldn't call you. If I stumbled on this website, I'm not calling you. This looks like it was built in 1980 by a third grader. Like, just to shoot you straight, Bob, like, I'm not calling you. I mean, that's your first impression online. And yeah, I mean, you can take it a level deeper too. Everybody listens probably in the home improvement, home services, before and afters great,
Mhm.
right? Because people can relate. Like, this is my old kitchen. This is what I want my new kitchen. Like, oh yeah, I like that. So those are some things that can help. Video testimonials. Not many people are doing this in the construction space, but getting video testimonial, Bob talking about his new kitchen or whatever, like that can be powerful from a branding and conversion aspect on websites too.
I think that's the biggest thing, is having a remarketing campaign that has your clients' testimonials. Like if someone visits your website, right, having those videos in there, but also what happens when they go to YouTube or Facebook or Instagram? Are you showing them a different side of the brand, or the resolution of what happens when someone engages with you in your business? Like what's been accomplished from the consumer's end? And I think when you close the gaps and someone visits your website, which is an experience, you open up a loop of questions. And the more that you start removing the resistance and the friction from a consumer's mind, and they get to see a trustworthy brand, a professional company, someone that they feel like they can trust and pick up the phone and call, they know where the contact information is. Now they see testimonials. Now they Google you. You have hundreds of 5-star reviews. That makes it a no-brainer, right? That makes it now, instead of questioning how cheap can I get the service, I'm expecting to pay a premium for that because they've got it together. So it's all relative, right? I think it's all an investment, and you got to think about, some investments are going to pay off immediately and others are going to pay off throughout the lifetime. Others are going to pay off long-term, like SEO, right? What are you seeing in terms of SEO these days for someone to expect a return on their SEO program?
I mean, it kind of depends. So when they come to us, I mean, if it's a brand new site, they haven't really done anything prior. I mean, we're kind of telling we like to, how's the saying go? Under promise, over deliver.
Yes.
But I mean, typically we say, 6 to 9 months is kind of like a good ramp up period. But if somebody's, had a little previous work done, then sometimes we're like, hey, like we can get, I call it low hanging fruit. If you're sitting in, positions 4, 5, 6, like in a month, we might be able to get those things to pop. But I think when it comes to ranking the map pack and SEO, like that's the longer term game. Like it could take months before you see the ROI from it. But once you get that ship moving, like you can keep it moving and it can generate huge returns because you're not having to pay an additional cost for that call or lead, right? You're just paying the marketing company to get you there, which I think people need to have patience for it.
It's the magic sauce.
Oh, it is. That's what I'm saying.
It truly is.
Yeah. I was just telling you about one of our clients who 3 jobs, almost $1 million from those 3 SEO.
You can't beat it.
That's just 3.
The conversions on organic leads are also much higher than paid.
Oh, yeah. And those are commercial. And he's like, man, I'm going to develop a relationship with these people and I'm going to make millions from them next year.
Right.
But I think people need to understand that's a process. Like, that's not like, oh, let me just put up a blog post. I'll be ranking and I'm going to get calls 2 weeks later. Like, that's just not how it works these days. But, I think, you touched on this a minute ago. I mean, I think this is where having the multiple fishing poles kind of ties all this together too. Because like I said, people are learning to do a little bit more research. They're going to snoop around on your, contracting company a little bit. They might go look at your YouTube channel. They're going to look at your Google business profile. They're going to look at those reviews and they're going to click over to your website. So I think that's where having the good brand, having multiple fishing poles can help produce more work.
Yeah. I'm wondering, what's your take on social media? Because as Contractor Click, as a marketing partner, we encourage and we teach and we empower our clients and partners to do their own social media posting. That means you're capturing pictures of the work. You're out on the field every day. Might as well just learn how to do it on the spot, right? Go live, create the stories. And we've tried offering this service here in-house, but it doesn't work long-term. When we look at the impact and the ROI, is not as impactful as someone doing it, like their team doing it in-house. An example is like, we would post like every single day or every other day, and we might get one like every 3 posts.
Yeah.
And we see our client just take a picture that's crooked and then they get 20 likes, in comments. And that's the whole point. Like, social media is meant to be very personalized.
Real and
What's your
authentic.
guys' take on that?
Yeah. I think people like that because it's real and it's, authentic. It's in, like a day in the life.
Yes.
Yeah, we're actually similar to you. We actually don't offer that as a service either. A lot of our clients, they might just have their, in-house person or office admin just help with it. I mean, I think it has a play for brand awareness.
Right.
Yes. And community awareness. Like if you're going to charity events, share it to your page, like just getting your name out there. But from an ROI perspective, which I think is what both you and I, that's at the end of the day, that's what matters when it comes to working with our clients. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze per se. That's what we tell people. Hey, you can do this. Like we recommend doing it from a brand awareness play. But most of our clients, when they come to us, like, hey, I want high buyer intent leads.
Right.
And we know the first page of Google produces that. So we just stay in our lane and that's what we focus on.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And the beautiful thing is when you get to work with a marketing partner, that's the whole thing. It's like they guide you and they let you see, okay, this is like the top producing channel. This is the second, the third, etc. What are you seeing for 2025? Some of the things that you're excited about in digital marketing for home service, home improvement contractors?
Yeah, I mean, I think, to anybody listening, I mean, you got to have a comprehensive approach when it comes to marketing. I would say don't just pick one. I think you need to go all in for all the reasons we just talked about, like because people are going to snoop around a little bit more. So you kind of want to have all the poles in place. I mean, I think, construction is a great industry to be in. I think it's going to be, now there's a lot of talk about AI and stuff. I mean, I'm not trying to like just drop buzzwords in here, but it's coming. It's coming in hot.
Oh, it's here.
Yeah, it's coming. So I love the home service improvement niche though, because it'll be a while before, there's robots running around putting in your concrete floor. Like, is it coming? Yeah. Probably, but that's going to be a little further down the road.
The cabinet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've already seen some videos. I mean, robots laying bricks for real. Like it's all coming, but that's going to be a little further down the line. But I would encourage everybody to at least pay attention to it and, just keep an eye on it. But you also don't want to get shiny object syndrome either. Like if you don't have your like digital marketing and offline marketing in place, don't be worried about AI. Like you're going to go down, I think I encourage everybody to get that in place, but it's exponentially coming in. And so I think I just encourage everybody to keep an eye on it. Don't get worried. Don't get scared. Like, I mean, what I tell our clients is like, we're going to leverage this gasoline on the fire.
Yes.
Like we're going to use it to get more efficient, help you get more leads, make more money, like, and just use it, not get run over by it. Is kind of how I'm looking at it. But I think that's, we'll see some interesting things play out next year with that. And I mean, to everybody listening too, I've had a few, conversations with, manufacturers, estimating softwares. Like it's putting its hand in all facets of business already, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think everybody just kind of keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I'm excited. At Contractor Click, we're constantly testing, tweaking, and trying things out for ourselves to build efficiency, help our clients get more results faster, better, be at the cutting edge. But it's still got some ways to go. But I know for data processing, integrating that into the business, whether it's through the recruiting process, through communication, having efficiency in lead handling, studying and assessing calls, sales calls, follow-ups, etc. AI can be a great assistant. Not a replacement, an assistant. And for the smaller guys, we do encourage the smaller guys that, hey, if you don't have an admin assistant, let's get one of the voice AI bots in there to start handling the leads and calls, giving them a call and start to book the estimates or follow up on your behalf, right? Because that's going to help you out. And I think that's a smart play for the smaller guy. For the bigger players, you have the systems processes in place already functioning. You don't want to disturb that. You just want to see how can this complement what I'm doing, which to my point that I want to make here is AI is not here to replace you, which is the individual that contains the wisdom. It's here to enhance it and make it better, to facilitate, speed things up. And that's ultimately what this is going to create, a space to enjoy, being present in the moment and not do the dirty work per se.
Yeah.
Something I'm excited for. And if you're listening to this podcast, the Contractor Click podcast, thank you for listening. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Let me know how Jamie Randall did in the podcast.
These
I'm
comments
sure-
better be good, people.
I know. Excited. Where can people find information about you and who you serve and the client base you serve?
Yeah, so anybody in the damage restoration industry, water, fire, mold is our bread butter. Just Google Jamie Randall Restoration Marketing Group. It's the-rmg.com. So if they're in that space, we'd love to. We do free consultations, so they can just go to our website, and we'd love to chat with you.
Mason, you heard it from the man himself, Mr. Jamie Randall. Thank you for coming through today to the podcast. And if you're listening to this again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Let us know how we did, and we'll see you on the next one.